Okay, so what if survival meant you had to literally split your soul into three different people? That's exactly what we're digging into today. A story where one person becomes three specialized weapons, all for one single reason, to win. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Right out of the gate, the source material just lays it on the line. It tells us this isn't a blog. It isn't a story. It's a reckoning. So yeah, this isn't for fun. It's a raw, totally unfiltered look at power, betrayal, survival. The stakes? They couldn't be higher.
All right, Section 1. Welcome to the reckoning. So, who's our guide through all this chaos? Well, meet Joe. He's the voice we're hearing, our narrator, and he's really the heart of this whole puzzle we're about to take apart.
And look, this isn't what you might think. It's not multiple personalities in a clinical way. No, this is something else. It's a deliberate, strategic splitting of the self. Joe, Jack, and Laura. They're not just names. Think of them as tools, Each one is a different strategy, pulled out for one single reason: to survive.
But you gotta ask, why, right? Why go to such an insane extreme? And the source gives us a one-word answer: Stevie. She's the anchor. She's the reason any of this makes sense. Every single choice, every fight, it all circles back to her.
Okay, so that brings us to the three-sided soul itself. We've met Joe, the narrator. Now let's meet the other two parts of this internal fire team. Who are Jack and Laura? What exactly do they do?
And this table really breaks it down for us. It's pretty clear cut. You've got Joe, he's the observer, the one who's just trying to make sense of everything. Then you have Jack, he's the soldier, cold, disciplined, pure logic. And then there's Laura. She is the total wild card. The source material calls her a chaotic weapon, and honestly, that's the perfect description.
And they all live by this one simple, brutal code. Defend yourself at all times. It pays to be a winner, because losing meant death. That's it. It's a philosophy born from a world where coming in second just isn't an option. Winning is everything, because the alternative, well, it's not just losing, it's being completely wiped out.
All right, so that's the theory. But how does this actually work when things go sideways? Let's jump into a specific scene and get a feel for it in action. The source drops us right into a trap house, a drug-filled apartment just 2 nights before Christmas.
And the scene is just tense. The air smells like chemicals and sweat. Tables are literally overflowing with this stuff. Meth, ketamine, GBL. The stakes here are sky high. We're not just talking about money. We're talking serious prison time for every last gram. This is not a game. So here's the problem. A guy named Polish Mike just ripped them off for a bunch of meth, but he left 5 grams behind. Now, to you or me, that just sounds like a mistake, right? But to Joe, it's a massive red flag. He knows that no user, no dealer, nobody just leaves that kind of thing behind. It means something is seriously wrong.
And this is where you really see the different personas at work. Jack's take is simple, tactical. He just sees a stupid person who got lucky. End of story. But Laura, Laura, has the full file. She knows his real name, Michael Smith. She knows his backstory, a failed stripper from Manchester. She doesn't just see a thief, she sees a weak spot she can press.
And just as they're trying to figure this out, bam, the whole situation just explodes. There's this heavy pounding on the door. Boots, fists. It's the cops, and they are coming in. The trap wasn't a maybe. It's real, and they are caught dead center. So what happens? While a normal person would freeze, Laura just deploys, and her weapon of choice is pure psychological chaos. She says this line, "Oh, Mr. Officer, is that a truncheon in your pocket?" I mean, who says that? She doesn't fight force with force, she just completely derails the whole encounter. It's bizarre, it's sexualized, it's designed to short-circuit their training and create confusion. And the crazy thing is, it actually works.
Okay, so after that insane adrenaline rush of the trap house, the battle shifts. We're moving from the outside world to the inside. We are now inside their shared mind, a space that the source calls the PTSD corridor.
And in here, we see the bond between Joe and Jack. Their mantra is never above, never below, always side by side. When Joe is starting to spiral from the trauma, Jack steps in like a stoic sergeant major and just grounds him. This isn't really a friendship, it's more like a 2-man military unit designed just to get through it.
But here's the thing, even inside their own head, they're not safe, because Laura sets up an ambush for them, and she uses this twisted, military-style language. "Halt, sluts." She's in total control here, making them play by her totally bizarre and unsettling rules.
And then comes the password exchange. It is just absurd and dark and kind of funny in a really messed up way. The password is bumholes, the countersign is penises, and Jack, this hardened soldier, is forced to literally screen these words to get by. It's a total power play from Laura, a compliance test, just to remind Jack that in her world, her crazy logic is the only thing that matters.
And just as they comply, just as they step forward, bam, a cage just slams down, trapping both of them. So this isn't just some mental game, it's a physical thing inside their mindscape. It shows you just how dangerously unpredictable Laura is. She's a threat even to herself, to the other parts of her own mind.
So they're trapped, and Joe is thinking, she's just insane. But Jack, the soldier, the tactician, he sees it differently. He sees the strategy behind the madness. He says, she's mental, and she's still fucking good. He might hate her methods, but he can't argue with the results. It's this moment of pure grudging respect for her skill.
Which brings us to the big question, right? Why? Why put up with such a dangerous, unstable part of yourself? The answer, it turns out, is waiting for them right after that cage finally lifts. They find themselves inside Laura's lair, and it's like this shrine to obsession and protection. There are maps with red thread connecting enemies, voodoo dolls for specific people, and posters of Stevie set up like altars. You even see dolls for two other people, Sophie and Sophia, hidden safely away. All this chaos, it's not random at all. It's laser-focused on one thing: protecting the people she cares about.
And that's when you hear her. It's this triumphant shout. Winners. Every fucking time. Winners. And that's her entire purpose. She is the guarantee. It doesn't matter how messy or how insane it gets, the result is always the same. They win.
And this is the moment it all clicks for Joe. And for us, really. Laura isn't a bug in the system. She's its most advanced weapon. Jack is great for a straight-up fight, a soldier's fight. But Laura, she fights a different kind of war. A war of chaos, manipulation, psychological games, things Jack could never even imagine. She is the weapon you use when nothing else will work.
And that's really where the source material leaves us. The story of Joe, Jack, and Laura is obviously, it's an extreme case. But it does make you ask yourself a pretty tough question, doesn't it? When you're pushed to the absolute edge, when survival is the only rule, what parts of yourself do you unleash?